They say change doesn't come in a day, but in the days that never stop coming. And maybe that's true. Because sometimes what separates those who dream from those who rise isn't talent or luck or even timing. It's the quiet, unseen power of showing up. Every single day, clock ticks louder, then fades. Welcome back to my channel. There was a boy once. Not extraordinary, not gifted, just normal. His name was Arin. He lived in a small town where nothing much ever changed. Every morning, the same sun rose behind the same hill. Every evening, the same shadows crept across the same walls. But inside Arin, something stirred. A restlessness. A longing to become someone more than what his reflection showed. He wanted to be strong, confident, capable. Not in the eyes of others, but in his own. He started small, a simple goal. Waking up at dawn to run before school. The first morning, he felt alive, unstoppable. The second day, his legs ached, his lungs burned, and the comfort of sleep whispered him back to bed. On the third day, he almost gave in. Almost. But something in him, some faint whisper said, "No, not today." So he ran. And when the world was asleep, Arin chased something only he could see. Weeks passed. No one noticed. His friends laughed, saying, "Why push so hard? You're not even competing." But Arin wasn't running against anyone. He was running against his own excuses. And in those silent mornings, he began to understand something. That greatness doesn't shout. It whispers. It's built in the quiet hours when no one is watching. But consistency is cruel at first. It demands everything and rewards nothing. Days turned to months, and life, as always, tested him. One winter morning, his father lost his job. The laughter in their home vanished. Arin started working after school. Long shifts stacking boxes, heavy and cold. The mornings grew darker, his energy thinner. There were nights he stared at the ceiling, exhausted, wondering if any of this even mattered. But every time he thought of stopping, he remembered that first morning, that moment when he said no to comfort. That was his promise. Not to the world, but to himself. And he refused to break it, so he kept running. Some days he stumbled, some days he walked, but he never stopped showing up. That's the thing about consistency. It doesn't demand perfection. Only persistence. Years later, that same boy stood on a college track field, wearing worn-out shoes but an unshakable heart. He wasn't the fastest. But he was the one who never quit. His coach saw it, that fire that doesn't burn out. And one day, when others missed practice, Arin stayed behind, running alone under the fading sky. His coach approached him and said quietly, "You're not training your body anymore, Arin. You're training your mind." Those words hit deep. Because for the first time, Arin understood, consistency isn't about success. It's about identity, about who you become when no one claps, no one sees, no one cares. It's about learning to choose effort over excuse, patience over pride. Years passed, and Arin's small habit became his foundation. That discipline carried into everything, his studies, his work, his relationships. When others panicked, he stayed calm. When life tested him, he didn't break. Because consistency had taught him something time could never unteach, that every small step counts. Every repetition builds. Every "not today" becomes tomorrow's strength. But then, life tested him again. Silence, faint thunder in distance. His mother fell ill. Hospital lights replaced sunsets. Machines hummed louder than his own thoughts. He stopped running. Days blurred. Fear crept in. Not fear of losing her, but fear of losing himself. One night, sitting by her bedside, she looked at him and whispered, "Don't stop, Arin. You keep going no matter what." Those were the last words she ever spoke to him. Silence. Soft piano single note. The next morning, Arin laced his shoes again. The air was cold, heavy, but as he stepped outside, the first light of dawn touched his face. He began to run. Slower than before, quieter than before, but with more meaning than ever. Every step was a promise, every breath a memory. And with every mile, he realized something powerful. Consistency isn't just about progress. It's about healing. It's how we hold on when everything else is falling apart. Years later, Arin stood on a stage holding a small medal. It wasn't gold. It wasn't fame. But it was something better. Proof. Proof that small steps repeated with faith can change a life. In the audience, young faces watched him, listening as he said, "I'm not special. I just refuse to stop." And maybe that's the message we forget, that success doesn't come in lightning bolts. It comes in drips. Quiet, steady, patient. The real heroes aren't the ones who rise overnight. They're the ones who rise again and again after every fall. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's repetitive. It's boring. But one day, you wake up and realize you've changed. Not because of one big moment, but because you never stopped trying. Arin's story isn't about running. It's about showing up for yourself even when no one else will. It's about believing that the smallest effort, done faithfully, has the power to shape destiny. We all want the finish line, the applause, the validation. But the truth is, the finish line is built by every unnoticed morning, every small decision to keep going. And maybe the person you're becoming is already waiting for you on the other side of consistency. So the next time you feel like giving up, when progress seems invisible, when motivation fades, remember this: it's not about being the best. It's about being there. It's about refusing to disappear. Soft pause. Because one day, all those small steps will meet each other, and you'll realize you've crossed mountains without even noticing. Arin still runs. Not to win, not to prove, but to remember. Because now he knows consistency isn't what changes the world first. It changes you, and that's where all change begins. If this story touched you, comment below with one word: unstoppable. Because maybe that's what we all are deep down. Not perfect, not fearless, but consistent. And that's enough to change everything.